You know that feeling when someone clearly less intelligent than you seems to rise faster, gaining wealth and influence. You wonder, are they secretly brilliant, or is the system simply in their favor? Machiavelli would have understood this. He once wrote that fortune is like a woman. She favors those who approach boldly. In other words, success rarely rewards mere intelligence. It rewards daring action. Most people who seem less smart than you probably are, but they possess something more valuable than intellect. The courage to act while others are still planning. That courage, not cleverness, is what builds empires. We live in a society that idolizes intellect. Much like Renaissance Florence revered its scholars. From childhood, we're told that the smartest succeed, get the best grades, study the longest, follow the right steps, and life will obey. Princes once believed wisdom alone would protect them. Machiavelli observed in The Prince that survival belongs not to the wisest, but to the most adaptable. Yet the illusion persists. Millions chase degrees and certifications, believing knowledge alone guarantees power. But the world isn't an exam, it's a battlefield, and battle favors those who act before they fully understand. If intelligence alone determined wealth, the world's richest would be philosophers and professors. Instead, universities overflow with geniuses who advise rulers yet die in obscurity, while men of average intellect build empires. Leonardo da Vinci, for all his brilliance, depended on patrons. Cosimo de' Medici, who funded him, left one of Europe's most powerful dynasties. One designed, the other executed. Intelligence can create masterpieces, but power owns the gallery. This pattern continues today. Richard Branson, dyslexic and restless in school, dropped out at 16 yet built a global empire, not by outthinking others, but by outmoving them. Meanwhile, Nikola Tesla, a genius who reshaped the modern world, failed to sell his inventions and died penniless. Machiavelli would have said Tesla had virtue without prudenza, brilliance without the cunning to navigate human nature. The tragedy for many intelligent people is that they mistake understanding for control. They assume clarity ensures victory. But the world bends not to those who comprehend it, but to those who act. As Machiavelli warned, titles do not honor men. Men honor titles. Intelligence alone is meaningless without action. Across history, the same dynamic recurs. Scholars advise, merchants act, thinkers theorize, founders execute, strategists draw maps, conquerors march. The bold inherit the spoils. This isn't injustice, it's structure. The modern prince is crowned not by intellect, but by execution. Here lies the paradox. Intelligence can trap its possessor. The smarter someone is, the more they crave perfect plans, waiting for certainty before acting. They trade speed for accuracy and watch the less capable succeed through imperfect, bold action. The less informed move faster, stumble, adapt, and ultimately win. In the currency of power, time is everything. Hesitation costs influence. Those we call lucky often simply acted while others waited. Fortune doesn't reward merit. It rewards audacity. Machiavelli's advice to princes applies perfectly today. You must seize or be swept aside. There is no middle path. Markets, like history, reward aggression disguised as confidence. So why are some people rich while others wait? Why postpone action for the right idea, perfect partner, or perfect timing, when fortune passes regardless? Historical elites, from the Medicis to the Rockefellers, Musks, and Bezoses, didn't become wealthy by outsmarting others. They treated every opportunity like a campaign of conquest, fast, risky, adaptable. The world responds not to intelligence, but to movement. Until you move, intellect is potential energy, dormant and untested. Intelligence can even hinder wealth. Smarter individuals fear mistakes, trapping them at the maze's entrance. Imagine two men before a labyrinth, leading to everything they desire: freedom, power, abundance. The genius analyzes every path, forecasts every dead end, and hesitates. The ordinary man enters blindly, stumbles, adapts, and eventually reaches the prize. Inaction masquerades as intelligence. Overthinking feels productive, but is a cage built by analysis, planning, or prudence. Machiavelli recognized this psychological trap. Hesitation ruins men more than errors. Labeling someone as smart often backfires. It fosters fear of failure, discouraging risk. Risk, however, is the only path to power. The irony is stark. Intelligence, society's most praised trait, becomes an excuse for inaction. Look around: MBAs who never start businesses, designers who never sell products, writers trapped, rewriting the first chapter, all wait for certainty that never arrives. Machiavelli called this a cowardice disguised as wisdom. Meanwhile, those with less knowledge move, collide with reality, and treat mistakes as reconnaissance. Their world expands as the overthinkers shrinks. Fortune favors movement, not caution. Founders, industrialists, and modern magnates rarely wait for perfection. They launch, fail, adjust, and dominate. Hesitation is entry for others. The harsh truth: intelligence creates the illusion of safety. The smarter you are, the easier it is to rationalize, waiting. One more course, plan, tweak, never enough. Yet the battlefield of power has no Moku moment. Hesitation in war or business is fatal. History shows it repeatedly. The cautious are erased. The bold, even if imperfect, reshape the world. The real reason intelligent people often remain broke is not a lack of talent. It is that their intellect turns inward, feeding fear instead of direction. They distrust motion because it feels chaotic, forgetting that chaos is the natural enemy of power. But intelligence can be harnessed. When aligned with action, it becomes a weapon that multiplies influence. Those who think like Machiavelli, clearly, strategically, but always with conquest in mind, don't merely analyze the maze. They build it, leaving others to get lost while they move decisively toward power. Turning thought into power, execution, and the art of influence. Machiavelli valued virtue, the courage to act boldly in uncertainty, above mere intellect. He knew that wisdom without action is empty. Power belongs not to those who think the most, but to those who do what others only discuss. Intelligence creates vision. Execution gives it form. Those who master execution become the architects of fortune itself. Execution separates dreamers from dynasties. Machiavelli wrote that promises are for the past, while broken words reflect the present. The wise adapt to reality, not theory. The world rewards those who adjust faster than competitors, not those who cling to perfect plans. Jeff Bezos didn't invent e-commerce. He executed with relentless consistency. Every mistake taught him, every risk sharpened him. He wasn't the smartest, but he acted before the room finished debating virtue in modern form. Most misunderstand execution. It's not about working longer or harder. True execution is strategic, selective, disciplined. It strikes when the moment is ripe and retreats when it's not. From ancient princes to modern founders, one truth remains: wealth is born from momentum, and momentum comes from motion. Ideas, Machiavelli would say, are like seeds, useless unless planted. The difference between visionaries and others is the courage to plant early, nurture, and prune ruthlessly. Execution, not imagination, turns vision into empire. There's a second form of intelligence, the powerful prize, social intelligence. Machiavelli described it as making others act in your interest while believing they act for themselves. It's not manipulation, it's mastery of perception. The greatest princes were not the strongest warriors or wisest scholars, but those who could move men's minds. Lorenzo da Medici ruled Florence through alliances and charm. making rivals believe serving him served themselves. In modern times, Steve Jobs applied the same principle. He wasn't the best engineer, yet he persuaded the world to embrace his vision. Influence. Social intelligence is the modern prince's sword. It commands without force, creates trust, and compels people to act voluntarily. Machiavelli noted that men are obedient to present necessity and can be deceived when perception is skillfully guided. Today, deception is branding, persuasion, and marketing tools of modern conquest. Investors fund people, customers buy emotion, teams rally around vision, power flows through belief, engineered through perception. Yet most intelligent people ignore this. They believe ideas alone win, forgetting that every concept must pass through human emotion. As Machiavelli warned, he who builds on the people builds on mud. Without shaping desire, loyalty, and fear, one drowns. The two keys to power are clear: execution and influence. The first makes you effective, the second bends reality toward you. Alone, execution produces soldiers. Persuasion without action produces charlatans. Together, they form the foundation of modern power. A final layer binds them: mindset. Even the best strategy fails without mental discipline. Ancient princes and modern billionaires alike rely on it. The inner state decides whether fear traps you or you rise to command fortune. The mindset of action, the Machiavellian way to defeat hesitation. Above all, Machiavelli emphasized action. Fortune is a woman, he warned, and she submits only to those who dare. Intelligence, caution, even morality bow to this law. Deep thought and careful planning are meaningless without movement. Transforming intelligence into wealth begins with action. Stop waiting for certainty. Life never provides it. Hesitation is surrender. Decisiveness earns reward. The market and history alike favor the bold. Delay allows others to claim the throne while you remain a spectator. The first rule of wealth is to act before the perfect moment, because it never comes. Renaissance merchants lent money while others hoarded gold. Entrepreneurs launched while others waited. Motion precedes mastery. Every action carries risk. Prudence is in assessing it and acting decisively. The second rule is embracing failure. Intelligent people fear mistakes. But Machiavelli saw error as tuition for command. Every wrong turn teaches terrain. Every defeat teaches timing. The powerful don't avoid falling. They rise each time. Thomas Edison found 10,000 ways that didn't work. Rockefeller failed before building an oil empire. Error refines power. The third rule is valuing people above ideas. Ideas are sterile until believed. Power exists where perception converges. A ruler without followers is powerless. A business without trust fails. Genius without communication is no different from Molly. Every great empire, from the Medici to modern titans, was built on innovation and influence, the art of making others see your vision as their own. Machiavelli understood that men act more by sight than by truth. Your task is to master perception, shaping it with clarity and force. Today, that means storytelling, persuasion, and presence. The wealthiest aren't always the sharpest thinkers. They're the best communicators. They make the world feel, not just understand. Every word is a weapon. Every pause is strategy. Wealth flows to the magnetic, not the purely rational. In the end, success is not intelligence, it's motion. Action beats intellect every time. Study, analyze, and plan endlessly. But until you act, you remain in the maze watching others claim what could be yours. Stop theorizing, take the next step. Start the business, make the call, send the offer. Fortune waits for no one. It rewards the bold, punishes the hesitant, and forgets the indifferent. History and empires alike show the truth. The world is ruled not by the smartest, but by those daring enough to act.